you oversee all of like global gaming. How do you just view those trends in these like emerging regions or things like that?
Yeah, it's funny. Like I've actually like this whole conversation is something I've like struggled with over years because a lot of the um coughs, right? The key opinion formers of the games industry are so Western focused. And so one mistake I made early on in my career was thinking that people are focused globally, right? That people have this perspective of global gaming. And what I've found out is that actually most people in this industry have zero understanding of gaming globally, right? And so I turned that then into I'm like, all right, this is if that's the case, then there's opportunity there, right? Right. There's opportunity to figure out and understand the space. And so what I did early in my career is traveled a bunch. So I went to all different countries from Southeast Asia to Latin America to Europe to India and all these different places just to like learn, right? Understand the market, understand cultural trends. And some of the things that kept kind of coming up in some of these trips was mobile gaming is like actually like this thing that people were primarily playing their games on, which for me, even as like somebody that's like I'm like a hardcore PC gamer, right? And so the idea of like people choosing mobile games as their primary platform for playing games was astonishing to me as well. And so what we started to see is, to your point, Google was working on internet connectivity, India, other countries. You started seeing YouTube, just overall YouTube start to grow in a lot of these regions. And what I wanted to make sure is YouTube was growing. It was like, what's our gaming strategy there? What's our gaming strategy there? Right. And so it would create then uh, us really thinking through, okay, like, all right, India gaming is not big there right now. Why is it not big? Oh, it's not big because we have a content supply issue where people play mobile games, but there's not content to go watch around mobile games. Now, you can only control so much of that, right? Like we can come up with a strategy and we can influence that and we can create product. But you've got to work with partner managers on the ground. You've got to, create the opportunity for people to want to create content, make sure that you're monetizing. So like take India and just a country, for example, like we created programs that would scale educational materials to everybody that wanted to be a creator in YouTube in India. We started to take very specific product requests of like, oh, mobile gaming matters to you. How do we make mobile gaming capturing easy? How do we partner with different software providers to make sure that it's really easy to capture mobile gaming? How do we even put best practices if you're like, how the hell do I capture content from my mobile phone? Right. And so doing all of that, educating partner managers, educating sellers, right, that were trying to move linear dollars over to digital dollars. And you just have to do all of these things, partner with the publishers that matter. And so that's really how we started to make some serious progress. Now, what I didn't expect was how quickly mobile gaming would blow up. Like we knew that had to be a big part of our long-term strategy. It was very obvious just doing some research. I did not expect the rate in which it was going to grow. And so I think a lot of that rapid growth, us doubling in 2 years, a lot of that is attributed to the growth in mobile gaming.
Yeah, and Blake and I actually made an investment into a company that's, centered around, I would say, making mobile games easier to play, but also capturing content for mobile games. And so it'll be interesting to see when Wild Rift and a few of these other things hit, like, are we going to see a resurgence, or at least like creators here domestically in America actually pushing into mobile gaming? Because we really haven't yet. I think as you look at YouTube gaming, the most popular creators have had a lot of success playing Fortnite, Minecraft, Grand Theft Auto. That'll continue. But it's really cool to see, like, the Brawl Stars, for instance. I think you tweeted out something last week. They had 1 million concurrents playing this game that not a lot of people probably know about if you're not an avid mobile game user. And so just like from my perspective, I'm excited for probably the next 5 years to see like what mobile gaming can turn into in the US.
Yeah, and that investment I think is smart. I like the company Backbone. I think how you'll have to look at mobile gaming, where there's so many different options on how you play video games, it will be an additive experience, right? And so like I can see people picking up Genshin Impact, which doesn't have mobile support, and something like Backbone coming in and being highly important to that on-the-go playing experience. Like the same value that Nintendo Switch brought to the space, I think Backbone can for Western markets with mobile gaming. And these games are going to become more sophisticated as hardware gets better. Like you're really going to see these phones start to be on, not even playing field with a PC or a high end console, but enough where you're like, all right, I can, with a controller in my hand and it feels like a Nintendo Switch, I'm willing to play a variety of games that might just be mobile first games. So I don't know that it's necessarily you're going to see people like do cross platform Fortnite on this thing, although obviously you will. I think what you're going to see is a lot of really great mobile first games come out on awesome hardware, and the best way to tap into it will be with a controller. And then, yeah, I think, being able to stream and capture software is such an important part. You've got to democratize being a content creator. It's like what I focus on the most. I think it's one of the most important things. That type of hardware will allow for that as well.